Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how are you today? Well, it is TGIF, and yes, we are going live here tonight at 7 o'clock, so be there or be square. Before we get started, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, please do so, okay? All the information you're going to need is in the description box below, so you can get a hold of me and Trish, okay? Plus, if there's anything that you would like to contribute to our newsletter, like recipes, if you want your pet highlighted, a veteran highlighted, if you have any prepping tips or tricks, or any articles or videos that you want included in the newsletter, just email me or email Trish, okay? And we will make sure it gets into the newsletter for you. Now, grab some coffee. Ooh, it's right to the rim. Maybe some chocolate, because you just never know with me what's going to come out of my mouth or what's going on in the world today. So, first things first. I got an email from a subscriber. She said, my granddaughter was just born, okay, in Indiana. Her father was told, I'm guessing by the hospital staff, they have no formula to feed the baby. You know, generally when you have a baby, you know, if the mother is choosing not to breastfeed, they give you formula to feed the baby. Well, the father was told, we have no formula. You have to go out to the store and buy some. So I also, I responded back to this subscriber and I said, and diapers, because there's still a diaper shortage. So that's just a heads up. Now, 3 days ago, I received this email, and I'm sorry I didn't report on this right away, but I still think that it's significant enough to report on this. So a subscriber had emailed me and said, not sure why, but we can only speculate about what happened. And see, that's the thing. We can only speculate, right on. She said, my son's father works for Amazon, and he came home saying that he has had the strangest day ever. The product line, all shipping and receiving in his work, just shut down for 8 hours straight. Well, 8 hours straight, that's like your typical work shift, right? They didn't send anyone home, but it appears that their computer system globally had been shut down for 8 hours straight. I am concerned that this was a hacker and how it will affect the public, because if you have an account with them, you may expect that your information has been compromised. Yeah, I have an Amazon account. I have an Amazon Prime, you know, because we do so much, you know, shopping with Amazon, but not just that, you know, that's how we watch TV, you know, movies and stuff like that too. She said, I cannot say if they got everything back online because he left before they got everything going. The people working in the receiving docks set up a makeshift theater and watched Elf while they waited for their computers to get back online. Just another supply chain disruption. Thanks for everything. Well, thank you for this information. Holy cow. It's like, what? The Amazon globally just shut down for 8 hours. Well, yeah, I mean, if that our information got out like that, holy cow, can you imagine? Anyway, so this was sent to me, it's in Kemp Freehold, and she said, I just left my local restaurant supply store that I cruise for their very steep markdown section. Their normal section is overpriced. As I was standing in line with my 10 cans of marked down mushrooms, I looked over and nearly swallowed my tongue. Oh my gosh. Here's what I saw. For the record, you used to be able to buy a quarter of a cow for this amount of money. Whoa. Whoa. Here you go. Don't say I didn't warn you. Here you go. And now this, so these pictures were sent to me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pictures of their Dollar Tree today. She didn't say where, but still in all, wow, here you go. Okay, so here is a prepping tip from Awakening Warrior. Love his tips. He has the best tips. He said this is for freeze drying people to check this out. There will be a link in the description box below. Okay, it's for freezedryWholesalers.com. He said this: 4 ounces of cooked quinoa is 1 ounce freeze dried. Okay, that's a 1-to-4 ratio. So quinoa is a complete protein and easy to store already. Yeah, I have a good supply myself here of quinoa. Okay. For people with a freeze dryer, it's the ultimate food to freeze dry since it's nutritious, and 1 ounce will make 4 ounces when rehydrated. So 4 ounces of freeze dried makes 1 cup cooked. Half cup of dry quinoa makes 1 cup cooked. Talk about space saving long-term nutrition. Yeah, no kidding. He says, P.S. I'm going nonstop. I turned 41 to. Oh, this was sent yesterday. So today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Awakening Warrior. I love you. And he said, and I'm doing nothing but managing my property and watching your live stream, of course. Just not have caught a break. Listen, none of us have caught a break. None of us. We're all going crazy. And then someone sent me a joke because they thought they were being wise ass. So did you hear that the White House just banned Santa Claus from saying ho, ho, ho? Yeah, because Miss Harris got offended. Oh, boy. So here's one for you. Okay, I had to get my composure. You guys with your wise assness. All right, so a subscriber had sent this to me, and she says, I was sent this in 2013, started getting out of debt and stocking up a little at a time. And she said, this might be a good read for a video. All right, so I'm going to read this to you, okay? A loud crack sends a shiver down your spine. The statue falls from its pedestal, face first, into the dirt below. The crowd cheers as a heavy-set woman stomps on its head and spits. Others follow. You take your wife's hand and cross to the other side of the street. Maybe we'd better go home, she says. I don't see the police anywhere. It'll blow over, you say. No reason to ruin our night. And sure enough, by the time you get to the restaurant, everything calms down. As you're getting dessert, the restaurant owner comes out to say a few words in support of the protest. Something about the necessity of turning our backs on history to move forward. A number of diners clap in agreement. Your wife rolls her eyes. You ask for the check. A moment later, the waiter is swiping your card. It's not going through. Must be something wrong with the machine. The waiter says that there's an ATM just a block over, and your wife suggests that she probably has cash in her purse, but you tell her not to worry and you head out. When you get to the ATM, the screen is blank. Annoyed, you look around and you see another one at the end of the block. There's an armored truck idling next to it. A big logo on it you don't recognize, and 2 men in uniform. One stands tall, his hand on his holster. The other one is taking stacks of bills from the machine, dumping them into a bag. 2 men climb back into the back of the truck and take off. And they've gone. You walk over to the ATM. It too has gone dark. On your way back to the restaurant, you pass a truck with bumper stickers that say, "Don't tread on me." And you feel a crunch beneath your feet. Broken glass. The windshield has been smashed in. Inside the restaurant, a middle-aged woman is talking very loudly about how she too supports the protest movement. But you keep thinking of the ATMs, the 2 men, the truck. You ask your wife if she's got enough cash to cover the meal. You just want to get out of there. On the way home, you stop off at a gas station. The attendant comes out as usual, but before you can speak, he asks a strange question. You buying or selling? You tell him, fill her up, but when you try to give him your credit card, he suddenly backs away. Sorry, we're closed, man. Sorry. You sit there for a moment confused, and finally you drive away. At home, your wife turns on the news. There's a report on the statue, but little else. Well, guess that was the worst of it, she says. You agree, but later, as you fall asleep, you're not so sure. Suddenly, it's 4 a.m., and there's a cold fear deep in the pit of your stomach. Something doesn't feel right. Why were those men taking the cash out of the ATM? And what about the gas station attendant? A small town protest doesn't cause that. First thing next morning, you take a trip to the bank. It doesn't look open. A piece of paper taped to one of the doors tells you that it has been temporarily closed. No explanation, just a phone number and a logo. You give the number a shot. Another busy signal, so you hang up. Around the side of the building, there are 2 dented ATMs with broken screens. You get back in your car. Everything's closed. It's the same piece of paper everywhere and the same dark screens on every ATM. You start running into other people, trying to deposit Social Security checks or take out cash or find out their cards suddenly are not working. Your whole town is shut down. By the time you call off the search and head home, Main Street is jammed with traffic. You take an alternate road. Past the restaurant from yesterday, someone has thrown a brick through the window. Your wife's relieved as you walk through the door. People have been coming by all day asking if she's got any cash, trying to sell her things. They're not people from the neighborhood either. You turn on the TV, but the news doesn't say one word about what's going on. Then your screen goes blue. Text at the center reads, "Service interrupted. Please update payment info." You shut off the TV and go look out the window. The sun is starting to set. There's a black helicopter skimming along the horizon. You can't deny it anymore. This is it. This is the beginning of a reckoning, a long time due. It will start small. You'll be driving home from church only to find hordes of protesters blocking your car. You'll go to the grocery store only to find the shelves empty. You'll go to a gas station and find the pumps bone dry. You'll go to an ATM to get some cash, only it won't be working. And that's when you'll know that it's starting. From there's a broad shockwave. Will sweep through every layer of American life. Maybe that sounds impossible to you, but let me explain why it's not. You see, the last time America came up against anything like what we're about to see, which was just after the Civil War, it took just over a decade to recover. Nearly half of all the money in the country has disappeared. You couldn't sell anything because no one had the money to buy it from you. The Western territories ran out of cash completely, switched back to a bartering system using grain. Real estate and land prices dropped off a cliff and did incomes from rents. Banks took unpaid homes, forcing people into the streets. And today, though you think it's a different story, but the collapse of Greece experienced this very same scenario in 2007. Just look around you. America is just very different from the place you and I grew up in. We're seeing protests, rioting, young people fighting police and turning their backs on American values in favor of newer, usually left-wing ideals. A majority of people in the U.S. now favor taking some people's money to distribute to others by favoring higher taxes and mandating you have to have health insurance with outrageous premiums. Now remember, this was written in 2013 when Obamacare was, being forced upon everyone. And then they were fining people during tax season if you didn't have Obamacare. And then 45 came in and wiped that away. So we are in the building up before the fall that we will never recover from unless we quit spending money on desires and get out of debt ASAP. But as you can see, we are heading down that road again. Now that 45 is out, 46 is in, we're in trouble once again. By the way, Greek citizens were only allowed approximately $67 a week withdrawal from their bank accounts when the banks reopened. And once the banking system recouped, things returned to normal, but at a great financial loss to the middle class and all retirement savings plans. I hope everyone has a safe and secure place, plan for money or supplies, things needed to barter when this collapse occurs here, as it will. Thank you for sending me this. This was eye-opening. I really like this. I really, really do. This was just not something that I was expecting, honestly. And I really like that. So, on to this. This picture was sent to me, okay, and I'll put it in, talking about shrinkflation. She said, we have been eating and rotating some of our preps when I noticed this shrinkflation. The larger can was from last year. The smaller can was from last week. Same soup, Campbell's Chunky, sirloin burger with country vegetables. She put it side by side so you can see the difference. Holy shit. Hang on, here it goes. Okay. So this subscriber sent me this email. She says, we live in cattle country. We have no shortage of cows, pigs, chickens, or turkeys. And not to mention all the fields of corn, beans, peas, and so on. Last week, a friend of ours who works at a pig butchering plant near us got laid off. They told us all of the workers that there aren't any pigs. Really? They are all over and they get pigs from all over. He's wondering what's going on. This is very strange. Just like last year with the milk. It's all around us, but they had to dump it. Hoping you can get this info out there. I know you won't use my name, and thank you for that. Yeah, no, absolutely. I value your privacy, honey. I wouldn't do that. Wow, that is strange. When you're surrounded by that kind of farmland and stuff like that, and now they're telling a pig butchering plant that there's no pigs, but yet you're surrounded by pig farms. That makes no sense. Someone's lying. Oh my gosh. So here's something for you from my favorite sergeant and personal hero. She said, so bummed I missed out on the meatballs, but I wanted to let you know that these are available and give you the expectation info. I was able to get shredded beef and taco meat, praying they are good. Hugs and love. Okay. All right, so here is the two pictures of what she found. So that is also all for this video. I will see you guys later on tonight at 7 o'clock. Be there or be square. Okay, you stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less. Ciao.